Hey, in today's video, we're going to be talking about what's the purpose of a website and blog for your business. And if you have one, is it working for you or is it working against you? That's coming right up. Hey, I'm Brian Garcia.
And I'm Mary Nicole Bick. Welcome to Be Adventure Partners, where we help couples escape the box that society has unjustly tried to keep us in. Turn your idea into an awesome business online that you'll love so you can have the life that you've always wanted. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you can be notified every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday when we come out with fresh, piping hot content just for you.
All right, so this is a fun conversation. And it might be painful for a few of you, and here's why. A website and a blog has a very specific purpose when it's used as a business and not a hobby. Could you agree with me?
Heck yeah, because for us, it was painful for a while. And that's why we want to share this with you so that you don't go through the pain and the struggle that we did when we were kind of confused in the beginning.
So imagine for a second that you put in all this blood, sweat, and tears, and you're just like punching the keys, putting up your website and blog, and you left out some key things that is the differentiating factor between your website and blog being a hobby, so basically something that doesn't make money, and a business, something that does make money. So these things that we're talking about here today are crucial. If you're missing any of these, then you potentially are leaving a lot of money on the table. And if you're trying to build a website and blog so that eventually you can quit your job and go full-time in the entrepreneurial route, well, it's going to take you a lot longer or it will never happen. So let's bridge that gap here today and show you a few really cool things that you can do that's going to actually make your website and blog perform as a business and not just some hobby where it's never going to show up on Google searches or anything like that.
Yeah, and you're definitely going to want to stick around to the end because by the end of this video, you're going to know how to test this for yourself in your business to make sure that you're not missing anything.
All right, so the first thing today about your website and blog is it makes your business easy to find online when you're producing new content in the form of blog posts, when you have your keywords set up correctly so that when people go to Google to search for what it is that you have to offer, maybe they search for a question or a pain or a problem and they're looking for a solution or something. Your blog and website gets pushed up to the top because of how you've set it up correctly, right?
Yes. The key thing to think about here is consistency. So if you are pumping out content on a regular basis, now this doesn't have to be every day. It's always quality versus quantity. So if you're putting out one blog post consistently each week that is a valuable piece of content for people, this is really good in Google's eyes because every time that you put out a piece of content, Google sends in the bots to go check out and read your stuff and see where it is that you fit in the Google Rolodex, right?
Absolutely. So with that, a website and blog is a place where people can come and find the information they need for what it is that they're searching for. It's one of the assets that you actually own. That and your email list. Email list is actually going to be in another video, but just know that they work hand in hand together. You want to build that know, love, trust factor. And when people go to your website and blog and they find the answers that they're looking for, they're a lot quicker to buy the solution, to relieve their pains, to answer their questions, or even provide a solution to the problem that they have. That is a key right there.
Speaking of content, that brings us to number 2. Educate, provide value, entertain people, give them something to chew on that will inspire them to keep connecting with you. This is what makes you an authority online, is providing people with valuable content. Every time that you educate them, every time that you scratch that itch or fulfill that desire or teach them something that is going to help them along their journey, this starts to make you their go-to person. When you can educate them and give them that nugget of information that inspires them to change their life, they're going to keep coming back for more. They're going to want to keep working with you, seeing what else does this person have that could help me with my problem or fulfill a need or desire.
Number 3 is to make your website and blog an easy resource for people to be able to buy what it is that you have to offer. So if you think about your online business being your website and blog, you've got to have some sort of way that someone can virtually swipe their credit card and have sent to them a digital product, a physical product, schedule a service, schedule maybe a coaching call if you're into like life coaching, or have something sent to them that is going to give them value, that's going to be the solution to what it is that you have to offer, to the problem, to the pain, to the questions that they have in their life. So there's a lot of different categories that your website and blog could provide a value to. You got to get very, very specific on what it is that you're offering so that when people come there, all the products and services that you are offering are consistent and congruent with what it is that your brand is making an impact with, right?
Yeah. So when Brian talks about congruency, this is simply the fact that everything makes sense. So if people come onto your website and you're offering some kind of health solution, and then you're also selling drones, that doesn't really make sense. So you want people to come to your website and say, oh, this is the drone guy, or oh, this is the health and fitness gal. You don't want them to come to your website and say, oh, so they kind of sell a little bit of everything. They've got drones, they've got Tupperware, they're also selling makeup. Like that just
like
doesn't,
a deals site of some kind.
yeah, it just doesn't make sense. You want people to land on your page and say, aha, I found the solution to what I've been searching for. Not to be confused and think, well, they kind of are, just selling stuff. You want them to come there and say, this is exactly what I needed and what I've been searching for.
So let's do a really simple test that, and this is, I'm going to call it the caveman test. If a caveman can go to your website and blog and figure out before scrolling what it is that your homepage has to offer, what it is that your website has to offer, if they could figure it out, then they're good to go. So the first thing to think about is when someone lands on your homepage, do they know everything about your business, what it is that you have to offer? How can them scrolling through different pages, scrolling down on the pages, going to different blog posts, how is that going to help them in their life? And did they find the right place?
Yeah.
That is a thing about clarity that a lot of website owners miss. And so if you're not earning revenue from your website, potentially it is the message before you start scrolling or before your audience starts scrolling that's causing people to bounce. It's causing people to not stay on the site because it's not clear. It's super vague and it's super, evasive. Get clear, right?
Yeah, and we actually cover branding a lot deeper in another video, but something to really consider is, when they come to your website, like Brian said, do they understand? We actually had a lot of fun with this at a party this past weekend. We were talking to a guy and he said, so tell me about your business. What are you doing? And we wanted to ask him, well, we actually did ask him, well, what do you think our business is about, by just being a person on the outside and seeing our videos and content all the time? He said, well, I really love your content. And then he broke down exactly what our business is about. If you can get someone on the outside to take a look at your business, take a look at your website and say, hey, what does this mean to you? When you come to this website, what do you think I could help you with? And just get them to answer that question for you. Even ask a bunch of people to do that for you. It's really going to help you get clear and to start filling in the holes where you're like, wait a second, you thought that I was offering this, but I'm really just offering this. So get clear on that messaging and get outside eyes to come and help you out with your branding.
Test number 2 that you can do is, will your website and blog actually show up in Google searches? Now, this is key. If you take the name without the .com, .net, .co, and you put the name of your website and blog, like for instance, Be Adventure Partners, if you put that into Google, you're going to see the top listings are all Be Adventure Partners websites and web assets and stuff like that. So if you take your name stripped down just to the name and Google it, is it going to show your website? Now, if it doesn't, ask yourself this: is this a website that was given to me by a company that I'm a rep or a distributor for? If the answer is yes, then you do not have a viable business in that website, because that website will never be found on Google. It will never show up being branded to you. And so that's extremely key. So to really make this test work, open up your Google Chrome browser. And if you don't have Google Chrome installed, install it, because there's a lot of really cool tools that will help you build your business on there and be found easier. And then open what's called the incognito window. This is a window that strips away all the cookies, all the code that like marks you to websites, and then do your search there. That is the ultimate test. So we hope this has helped you today, and so that your business becomes viable so you can start making more money in your online business. And if you have questions, leave them down in the comments below, because we answer every single one of those, and we want to make sure that you get your questions answered so that whenever you're in the tribe, you can really get the most experience out of being a member. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified every single time we come out with a brand new video on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And if you want help dialing in your brand, check out this video right here.
And until next time, friends,
adventure on.
Adventure on.